water.
Yeah.
All right. Toya,
Yes.
where are you right now?
Home.
You home. Go to your fridge and
Yes.
see if you could find a can of water. I have never ever seen a can of water in my life, except coconut water. I see bottles of water, but I never saw a can of water. The correct answer was B, Guinness. But Toya, thank you for being a good sport. Thank you for helping out. Bianca, I am so sorry. That was the wrong answer. That is your third strike. And you are OUT out. But you've been a very good sport. We thank you for playing. They say it was fun playing the Jitney 242.
It was fun playing the Jitney 242.
Now give a big smile for the camera. Hold on, we have some parting gifts for you. Because you're not going to leave empty-handed. All right?
Okay.
Next time on the Jitney 242 ride, I don't know who it could be. Maybe it could be you.
Our marine resources were once considered inexhaustible. Conch and reef fish like grouper were abundant everywhere.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, Minister Fred Mitchell reassures Grand Bahama Port Authority licensees of the government's commitment to Freeport's growth and residents' welfare. Plus, a prominent real estate broker sheds light on Grand Bahama's investor confidence and potential growth factors. And enrollment and absenteeism still a challenge at a local junior high school on Grand Bahama. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, in a bid to reassure and maintain a steady dialogue with the licensees of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Minister Fred Mitchell emphasizing tonight that the government is committed to ensuring that the right decisions are made when it comes to the continued growth of Freeport and its residents. Our Aja Kwant has tonight's top story.
As it continues between the government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party and Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, assuring licensees of GBPA that the government has no intention of taking any action that would disrupt their operations.
It's very easy to be dragged and to be used by people for ill purposes.
The relationship between the government and the Port Authority has seen its fair share of ups and downs in recent times, raising concerns among licensees. While a meeting has been planned by the Freeport License Association to educate licensees on the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, Mitchell says the government's plan remains to bolster the economy.
They're trying to organize licensees to put up a fight in public, as if this is the government opposed to the licensees. This is a Bahamian city. This is the Bahamas government. and the Bahamas government and the Bahamians in the city are all working toward the objective of making the city successful.
Mitchell adds that the government will not violate the provisions of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement.
All we're talking about here is the issue of its ownership and control, and whether or not the owners of the port have the ability not only to carry out their regulatory authority, but to carry out the provisions of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement.
He says the government also recognizes the need for an injection of capital into the city to drive economic growth.
On a functional level, there's no disagreement about the way the place is being run. The question is, going forward, should the underperformance be allowed to continue?
Now, recently, the Grand Bahama Port Authority released a statement also assuring its licensees and the public that it remains steadfast in its commitment to the ongoing development and resurgence of Freeport. This, as Prime Minister Davis says, the Port Authority, under its present structure, is not realizing Freeport's enormous potential, adding that the status quo is not working and the people of Grand Bahama deserve better. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Adra Quant.
Thanks, Aja. Well, investor confidence has been a topic of discussion on Grand Bahama for quite some time. Tonight, a prominent real estate broker gives us some insight into the market on the island and shares his views on what could potentially encourage investors to do business on Grand Bahama. Simone Davis reports.
If I had the magic wand, I would clean this city up. And I'd ask government to help us, send the investors here, and I'd get the Port Authority to do their job. The city is looking very tired. That does not help investor confidence.
Real estate broker James Saul says while there has been a noticeable increase in investment, especially from foreign developers, he has identified certain obstacles that may hinder investors from completing deals, prompting realtors to work even harder to sell the island as an attractive investment destination.
We've been very successful lately. There's a lot of interest in Grand Bahama, especially in the foreign market, in terms of, being the close proximity. Grand Bahama has so much to offer. Our proximity to the States, our clean water, our canals, but there's a little missing element here. And we all know we need an airport. And now I understand that Manchester Airport, we've got this fantastic $200 million. The government announced it, but we haven't had a word since. So the investors come to me and say, this is a fantastic program. Is it real? We've seen so many shovels go in the ground, and then we don't know what happens. But on the table, there's a lot of things happening.
The real estate broker says the primary hindrance is the prevalence of dilapidated buildings throughout the city, noting that these eyesores not only impact the aesthetics of the island, but also raise concerns for potential investors. Sarles emphasized the importance of addressing this issue urgently, as it has the potential to discourage foreign investors who seek well-maintained properties and a positive environment for their investments.
But the missing element for me is everyone's got to be working together. And I don't believe that government and Port Authority right now, who are in their little bit of media war, is helping our situation here. I've been saying for years, these derelict buildings, they have to go. Now, I don't care whether it's government has to do it or Port Authority. That's not for me to say. Now, investors, we're selling high-end homes on the water, and that's very exciting. And the investors get exciting, but then they see these derelict buildings and they say, what's wrong with this place?
But while he remains optimistic about the island's potential, he emphasizes that immediate action is necessary to ensure sustained growth and investor confidence.
I'm glad to see that the hotel temporarily is being cleaned up by the government. I think that's a good thing. We know we need to sell it. We would love a Ritz-Carlton to come here, a Hard Rock Cafe. But until that happens, at least let's see something happen. I understand the prop club's going to open up in there. I see them painting, and they're opening up the room. So at least in the interim, let's get things going.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Simone Davis.
Well, we have an update tonight on enrollment at one government junior high school on Grand Bahama. That is the Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School. Since Hurricane Dorian, officials shared concerns that there was a decrease in students attending school. 4 years later, the question is, are all the students back in the classrooms? Jolanda Thompson has more in this report.
Thousands Thousands of students across the country are now back in the classroom, but a familiar issue is once again rearing its head here at Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School. According to Principal Shakita Thompson, some students have not returned to school since Hurricane Dorian, despite repeated attempts to engage with parents and their children.
For grades 8 and 9, it seems that the enrollment is good. We have a low number for grade 7. So having the opportunity to speak to ZNS welcomed a lot of parents on Monday. But at this point, we're just identifying kids who's on our list. Once we have contact numbers, we're making contact with those parents to find out why is it that they're not in school. Now, we found a couple of parents who would have been keeping their kids home from the storm and trying to get them back into school now, because it's, I guess, COVID is almost over, not necessarily so, but they've kept their kids home for a number of years.
Thompson explains that she understands some parents may be uncomfortable sending their kids to school amidst ongoing illnesses, but she contends that an agreement can be made regarding their health and well-being. She's noting that when a child is out of the system for so long, when it is time for them to finally be enrolled, the process is not so easy.
A gentleman mentioned that he kept all of his children at home. And yes, they may be on their tablets, but still not engaged. And you're trying to tell me from 2019 to 2023, your children have not been in school. That's one parent. Another parent came asking if he could have the young girl placed in grade 9 when she should be in grade 11. All I could do is direct him to the senior high school.
And out of the 120 students enrolled for this semester, 80 have yet to show up to classes.
There's content in every area, and if you stay at home, you're not exposed to the content. Staying home and not doing any schoolwork is not encouraged at all because it causes a learning gap.
Now, last week, the Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, Glenys Hannah Martin, addressed the nation with an update on plans for the educational system, one of which includes attendance officers being placed on the grounds. They have also partnered with the Prime Minister's Delivery Unit to focus on schools with high absenteeism.
Last year, January, administrators, teachers, union officials, civil society, and others took to the streets in school communities throughout the Bahamas, knocking on doors, seeking out children missing from the classroom. The ministry has also received the assistance of the Prime Minister's Delivery Unit in focusing on schools which previously had higher rates of absenteeism.
Once again, Thompson is appealing to parents to do what is in the best interest of their children and ensure that they return to the classroom. She adds that arrangements will be made for those who are in need of uniforms and other types of assistance. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Julanda Thompson-Everest.
In other news, the first week of September serves as a reminder of the harrowing events that transpired 4 years ago when Hurricane Dorian unleashed its fury upon the northern Bahamas. In light of this somber anniversary tonight, we share the heartfelt reflections of a courageous Grand Bahamian woman who serves as a health service technician with the U.S. Coast Guard. She was a part of a dedicated crew of guardsmen who journeyed from Key West to Grand Bahama and Abaco, offering crucial assistance in the aftermath of the catastrophic storm.
It was like a power tower or something else. I don't know what kind of tower it was, but the tower was so mangled. I don't want to get emotional. Right. It was so mangled. And at that point in time, I was like, that's when I knew how serious. I mean, I had pictures and stuff, but that's when it really hit me. And I knew how serious the hurricane was.
That was Isabella Whip's first encounter with the place she calls home in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. With emotions sweltering, she, along with the guardsmen, gazed upon the devastation miles off the shoreline in East Grand Bahama.
We saw like all the debris just piled up in the trees, and we saw like all these different boats just in the trees.
Yet, in a show of professionalism, she kept her composure and remained focused on the mission at hand.
Where I was able to help the most was with intel. And, you know, some Bahamians have really thick accents, and a lot of Americans can't really understand to a certain degree. So I guess I was somewhat of a translator, even though we speak English. But yeah, for the most part, it was intel. And assessing damage.
But amidst the state of emergency came a moment of joy.
While we were in this channel, there was someone in the distance, like a lady, and she was running towards the boat. And I was like, oh my gosh, who is this? Like, what is happening? Do you guys just, remember what I briefed you on? And as the lady got closer, it was my own aunt.
Wow.
It was my own auntie, and I was, oh my God, I was so excited to see her. And my Grammy came out, and then my other auntie came out, and I don't know, it was that part made me feel a little bit better because I was able to see someone from my family.
Months later, she returned home and was even more shocked by the extent of the damage.
And just to see everything still so in shambles, like the airport and all the houses down there. Like, that was the first thing I did was have my parents drive me around to show me exactly, like, the worst of the worst, just to see other parts of the island that I didn't get to see because the only thing I saw was from the coast.
It was an experience she says she will never forget.
I guess the only real emotions I have when I think about moving forward, but with that storm in my mind, is, it just makes me worried.
Right.
I guess that's the best way I can put it. Is it just makes me worried for the future hurricane seasons ahead.
You asked for it, you've got it. A new plant nursery, fully loaded with everything you need and extended hours. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Fluid Factory presents Rick Ross live in concert Saturday, December 23rd at Gombe Park, Freeport. Early bird tickets, general $35, VIP $50, and platinum $85. Fluid Factory Skybox $150. See you there.
Get in, get out, equip yourself for the future. Pine Yard Technical Center is preparing the next generation for tomorrow. Sign up today for long-term or short-term classes. Strike a spark today, ignite a flame tomorrow. Torch handling, fire watch, plate and pipe welding. Sign up today.
When a storm strikes and knocks out power to your home, you may be forced to use a backup energy source such as solar panels or a generator. But do you know about the potential dangers and how to safely use backup energy sources? There's one major risk. It's called backfeed, and it can endanger you, a family member, or someone else, especially a lineman or electrician working at or near your property. Backfeed occurs when power travels from your solar setup or generator back through the utility lines, resulting in them being unknowingly re-energized. Backfeed creates a very dangerous and potentially deadly situation for line workers and the public. To prevent backfeed, generators, whether permanent or portable, should never be plugged into a home's wiring or directly to the circuit breaker panel. The best way to avoid backfeed is by installing a transfer switch. Preventing backfeed could save a life.
8:10 a.m. The Light. Coffee and conversation with me, Gigi. Waking you up each
The aim is to inspire you. The aim is to encourage you. It's a joy to come here each and every morning. I don't consider this work at all. I haven't worked a day in my life. That's how much I enjoy it.
They try to push rich on me. They want to push rich on me. They don't care in front of company.
The King of the North is back. Howard 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Less than a week after demitting office, His Excellency the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius A. Smith returned to Grand Bahama, where he received a warm welcome by supporters. Tonight, he shares his plans for retirement. Jay Philippe has more in this report.
Just days after demitting the office as the Governor General of the Bahamas, His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius A. Smith, was greeted at the Grand Bahama International Airport by many of his supporters and family members. It was a hero's welcome for the now former Governor General, who's still vibrant even at the age of 86.
There are some students of dominoes. I just want them to know that the professor is back.
The Most Honorable Sir Cornelius A. Smith was one of the first members of the Free National Movement upon its foundation in the early 1970s and served in the legislature representing Marco City constituency in Grand Bahama. The former GG says he's going to enjoy his time now with family after embracing the high honor and distinct pleasure and privilege of serving the people of the Bahamas as the head of state.
I've been away from Grand Bahama for 4 years, and it's really good to be back. Amen. The 4 years that I've been away, I thought I used it for the benefit of the country.
Sir Cornelius A. Smith served as the 11th Governor General of the Bahamas in succession to Dame Margaret Pingling, who had served in the position since 2014. For Smith, he says it was an honor to have served the Bahamian people in that capacity.
I am delighted that so many Bahamians have accepted my invitation to volunteer their services to others.
And now that his work is done as the Governor General, Smith says he's going to enjoy his downtime.
I am going to do some traveling. I'm going to ensure that some long iron rest that I need, I will take. But you know, my wife is a fisherwoman. And she always brag about how she beats me whenever we go fishing.
I'll be right there.
We shall continue the contest.
More than excited to be back home, the former Governor General says he now has plans to make memories with his family and friends doing the things that keeps him young. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jay Philippe.
Well, Reach Out Youth Organization alleviating the burden of the back-to-school shopping for thousands of parents and their children during its 17th annual back-to-school giveaway with a full complement of fun activities, food, and school supplies on hand. President Dudley Sade says it brings immense joy to put a smile on the faces of the children, adding that it would not be possible without the aid of corporate sponsors like Focal, Colina, and the GBPA. Human Resources Director Dr. Talina Smith also highlighting the Grand Bahama Port Authority's commitment to supporting these types of initiatives.
I know a lot of people doing a lot of give backs, but I wanted to do it in the inner city area. We have thousands of kids here today. They get free snow ice cream, bouncing castle, free food. But I know it's a rough time for a lot of families. Haircuts. There's a lot of corporate persons believe in what we do, and because they help me, I'm able to help others today. This is awesome, unbelievable. We were prepared for 1,000, and more than 1,000 people came here today.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority is a proud sponsor of Reach Out Youth Ministries. We are so excited to be here today to support so many students as they prepare for the upcoming academic school year. We always believe in the importance of education and the future development of Grand Bahama. So we just wish all the students well.
Now, some of the parents also thanking Reach Out Youth Organization for executing a successful event that saw scores walk away with some of the tools needed for an outstanding school term.
It was a great initiative. I had fun myself. I enjoyed it. The food was great. The company was great. The giveaways were great. Thank you very much, and may God ever bless you.
And I see a lot of grandparents and parents was out here with their children also. Things may be a little rough, but this what's happening right now. It helps the children and the parents. It motivates them back to school. So I think now they are ready.
Well, children from the Garden Villas area were treated to a special back-to-school treat courtesy of ABM Entertainment along with Rotaract and Stay Fly Car Wash. The special occasion taking place on the grounds of Christ the King Church this past weekend, where kids received school supplies, haircuts, and a lot more free goodies. ABM's Tavar Jones chimed that they were more than happy to ease the burden for some of the parents.
Growing up, it was always a struggle trying to get back to school, living in this community here. I lived in this community for about all my life, just about 30-something years. So I know the struggles and the heartaches that it takes parents sometime to get ready for back to school. So it was always a dream of mine to actually come together and give back to my community. And at this time, me, myself, and the wonderful teams that came together along with the sponsors, we were able to actually put the small token of appreciation to give back to our community at this time. Looking around, seeing all the children enjoying themselves, having something hot to eat, a cold drink to drink, some good prizes and good games and stuff. Also, we have a lot of bags, books, supplies, just to give away, you know.
And sharing on the Rotaract Club of 8 Mile Rock's involvement with the giveaway, President Solanka Julien says it was a joy seeing the kids enjoy the last hurrah of their summer break.
It always feels good to touch the community in a major way, and this is one of our major ways to impact our communities. And even though this is not a part of 8 Mile Rock, it's still a pleasure to just see the kids happy and having fun and enjoying the last bit of their summer.
Your Wednesday Check on Sports is up next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of sports right here in the North. We have a whole lot of sports for you. Let's begin with Shane Stubbs, volleyball.
The Hope Foundation Back to School Volleyball Retreat, led by Cherish Hollingsworth, not only taught fundamentals, but valuable life lessons.
We started today off with an empowerment session for the ladies. When you get them in this kind of environment, what they begin to share and how they begin to open up, it's a message of faith, it's a message of hope, it's a message of opportunity and resilience through sports. That's what this is all about.
And it's right on time with high school volleyball on the horizon.
It is pretty much on target now because high school volleyball is indeed the first sport. You should be seeing an increase and a great improvement in what the high school league has to offer this year.
And the girls certainly left empowered.
I've been learning new things that I haven't learned before, which is going to help me for senior year.
It's fun, it's informative, and then you get to learn a lot.
It's going to prep me a lot because we haven't started practicing yet, and I feel like this is a really good start to what we're going to do.
For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Switching gears now in sports. Right now it's the off-season for Little League Baseball. However, some local coaches on the island still has the youngsters on the park preparing for next season, or perhaps hoping to start a fall league on the baseball park. Coach Donovan Cox, Brent Sands, and Nico Grant are among some coaches volunteering teaching young baseball players the basic fundamentals on Saturday mornings. The athletes worked on base running and positioning, as well as fielding and footwork, and it's something the coaches says they will continue to teach in hopes of hopefully starting a fall baseball league soon. And finally in sports, Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty remain hot after winning their 7th straight game, 94-93, in a thriller against the Dallas Wings. Jones